Hello and welcome to the Growth Handbook series. My name is Jacob. I'm software engineer at Meta. Previously, I was at Microsoft. I built a few products during my career and I spent over 2 years at Facebook Marketplace Growth Team. In this video series, I will share everything what I learned about growth. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button. This will give me a signal that this type of content is useful and I'll do more of it. Growth strategy number 1, access. Access means that you're enabling more people to use your product, people who didn't have that access before. So for example, it could be international expansion, expanding to more demographics, enabling third-party login, or just relaxing requirements to use your product. Let's talk about international expansion first. So if you want to expand, let's say you launch your product only in United States. And let's say you want to expand to Canada. So Canada will bring additional users with pretty minimal product work. Actually, there's not much product work, but rather like enabling payments for Canada. Maybe it's different than US, maybe not. Doing taxes, that might be complicated. You don't have to necessarily translate. However, like if you want to launch your product in the French-speaking part of Canada, you might want to, and you might have to translate. Depends again on your product, but this is like very minimal. If you want to expand to Mexico, then you probably will have to translate your product. And then again, depends how big your product is, how complicated. This effort might be worthwhile or not. So it's important to do opportunity sizing before you decide on that. And keep in mind, some markets, like for example, India, which has 1.5 billion people, which is almost 5x of the United States market, give you like a great opportunity to grow. So by expanding to India, you have potential to like 5x number of your users. Depends like if this growth will follow up with actual sales and your revenue. So that's kind of different analysis. But again, keep that in mind that there are huge markets available there. And there are still, the challenges, again, different laws. Like for example, if you want to expand to European Union, which again is 50% bigger than US market, but you need to comply to GDPR law, for example. If you want to expand to some Arabic countries, you might also need to update the designs of your product because Arabic language goes from right to left, not from left to right. So like some of the text might not make sense anymore within your apps or websites. And the biggest one usually is just the payments and collecting taxes and making sure everything works and making sure that taking this additional burden actually makes sense and actually converts into proportional increase of the revenue. Another way to grow through access is to expand to more demographics. So let's say that only people over 18 years old could use your product before. And you're considering to expand maybe to 13 plus. So there are some additional steps you need to take to ensure that your product is safe to use for 13 plus years old. And also look if it makes sense. Like, would they people be buying things? Are they good target? Like, is this actual growth opportunity? Because maybe you might end up taking additional burden with not much return of investment. Another kind of related to demographics is just expanding your value prop. So for example, if you're mostly targeting millennials, think about expanding your value prop to Gen X or Gen Z. So another way to grow through access is third-party login. You know how many times you want to use some product and they ask you to register, provide your first name, last name, address, email, phone number, so on and so forth. If you enable third-party login like Google login or Facebook login, you make this experience much, much better. And a lot of people who will drop out when they see this huge form might actually click sign in and start using your product, and they might actually get hooked, which you would lose them if you don't have that. So it's very, very easy opportunity to grow. And again, on top of growth, this also provides the security because you don't have to worry about passwords, storing passwords, authenticating. Google takes care of that, or Facebook, or whatever third-party login you're using. And kind of related to third-party logging is that you might also enable people to use your product without actually creating an account. There are some pros and cons related to that. So for example, if you cannot identify user, you cannot send them notifications. It's easier with mobile apps, harder with web apps. And also, like, if they want to purchase something, then yeah, they can use it, maybe provide credit card number and so on, but they have to go through the form again. But then again, it's harder to re-engage these people later on if you provide the logout experience. However, maybe thanks to logout experience, they can do some actions, and once they find that the product will be valuable for you, only then you follow up and ask them to create an account and use your product after login. And the last way how you can grow through access is just relaxing account requirements. So for example, TripleByte, they require you to provide a copy of driving license in order to, like verify users and a user and do some certain actions. So this is something that is pretty high barrier, because many times people might not trust you. They might be like, oh, I provide your driving license, and what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna store it securely? Are you gonna sell my data? So a lot of you might be hesitant. And if you enable people to use it with any additional requirements, then you're risking fake accounts, you're risking bots, and the quality of users on your platform are decline. So there are pros and cons that usually you will see the user growth, but not how you like it. So there are different strategies how to approach relaxing the requirements. Like one way is to just do simple A/B testing, is to relax some requirements for 10% of your users and A/B test that, compare this with control, and see how that goes. If number of fake users or fake accounts and the quality of users on your platform doesn't visibly decline, that means that this requirement maybe didn't provide that much additional security as you thought. So again, do opportunity sizing, like how much more users you can bring if you relax some requirements. And also make sure you don't risk bringing the bad users, because they can actually destroy your product in the long run. So it's very risky. So now we talked about 4 or actually 5 different ways to grow your product through access: international expansion, demographics, expanding value prop to different demographics, third-party login, logout experience, and relaxing requirements to use your product. So now, action to take for you. How can you grow your product through access strategy? And think about which strategy would be the easiest for you to implement and which one will bring the biggest return of investment. If you made it that far, you probably found this video useful. If that's the case, please hit the like button. If you have any questions, please leave the comment. I will be very happy to answer. You can also subscribe to my channel to get notifications about new videos. If you want to learn more about growth, check out the links in the video description. You'll find there my recommended books about growth and link to my growth handbook.